We're here live with Matt Sellens, and Matt, we were talking about this earlier, about getting the ball to fly the furthest. So now we're going to continue that discussion.
You explained kind of, Matt said you want to take the baseball bat and hit it almost at a 45-degree angle because you want the up and across. Explain this in physics terms. You want it to go this way and this way equally, so you have to hit it at 45 degrees.
Right, but because of air resistance, you actually want to hit it at about 30 to 35 degrees, and so you end up swinging the bat maybe 20 degrees up, and you hit a little under the ball. I guess the actual details are a little complicated. Actually, you can try this by yourself, by the way. If you go in your backyard and you get a hose, you just turn on the hose and just see what angle you have to point the tip of the hose at for the water to squirt the furthest. It's the same exact physics, so you can try it.
But if you throw a ball into it that someone's curving or doing something to, when it comes to you, that changes the way it
Exactly. And so I want to talk a little bit about pitching and curveballs and sinkers and sliders and all this kind of stuff. And it all has to do with the way the ball spins. It's a very important component of baseball. It's what makes baseball so interesting. And there's basically two kinds of pitches in the world, as I've had this explained to me by Al Nathan, who's an expert on baseball in our department. There's the kind of pitch where the ball spins in some direction and where it doesn't spin. The one that it doesn't spin, that's your knuckleball, and that's kind of a tricky one to hit because that does kind of crazy things because of the laces, and there's kind of a chaotic motion of the ball.
And it's the wind resistance on that affects it too.
But most pitches spin, or a lot of them do, and so let's figure out why that makes it curve. So let's say that the direction of the pitch, or that the ball is moving, is toward you, Matt. And let's say that I've just thrown a fastball, and so it's kind of curving, and it's got some backspin like this on it. What happens is the air that flows over this top surface, you can think of it as sticking to the surface a little bit, and when it comes off the back end of the ball, as it's moving this way, it gets squirted downward a little bit. So by Newton's third law, that means the ball has to get pushed upward a little bit. And so the way you can remember the way the ball is going to go is if it's coming at you, if you look at the front of the ball as it's coming toward you, the direction that the front of the ball is moving, that's the way that it's going to tend to curve because of the fact that it has spin on it.
So the air in the front of the ball is going up, the air behind it is going down, that's what's keeping it.
That's right. So when you throw a fastball, for example, you tend to throw it like this, and it tends to curve backwards. The front of the ball is moving upward. That tends to put a force on the ball upward a little bit, so fastballs tend to hang a little bit more before they get to the batter, and so what happens is the batter very often misjudges them and swings underneath them. If you watch.
What about a curveball?
Okay, so curveballs are just curving in a different direction. So for example, if you curve the ball this way when you throw it, okay, so if I'm a right-handed pitcher and I kind of throw it sidearm, it's going to deke in to my right, sort of toward the batter if he's a right-handed batter. So pitchers will try to throw it outside the plate and have it kind of just sneak in and catch the corner of the plate. If you can throw it so it spins the other way, then of course you can do that from the inside, which is a little bit harder. One of the Red Sox pitchers evidently is very good at throwing what's called a 12-6 curveball, where you actually get it to spin this way as it's going forward, and so it sinks.
It'll go down.
Yeah, now that's hard to do. I can't even imagine how you would do that, and you have to do it in such a way that you're hiding the fact that you're doing it, or the pitcher or the batter is going to be onto this. And so the other thing that's sort of interesting is you can watch what happens after you hit the ball. If you hit it toward one of the baselines, what you always see is that it tends to deke toward the baseline and tend to go foul.
Like that.
That's because it's coming at you like this. If you hit it this way, you're giving the ball a little bit of spin in that direction, so it's always going to tend to go foul if it's going out the baseline, no matter which way you hit it. If you hit it straight towards center field, it doesn't curve, and that makes it actually a little harder for people to catch.
All right, Matt Sellens, if you have questions for the Wise Guy, send it to him at thewiseguy@uiuc.com, or you can send us an email at themorningshow@wcia.com. We'll forward it on to him. Matt Sellens, thanks.
Thank you very much.
See you in a couple of weeks. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And it's fun, so explore all that the Vacation Store and Carnival have to offer. A fantastic 3-day getaway cruise can